welcome to another edition of Let It Be Known. I'm your host, Stacy Brown.
Happy holidays, everybody. I'm your co host, Niele Anderson. We have tons of headlines to talk about today. Some good, some bad, and of course, some about the ugly Trump plan. Of course.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, let's start. I think our producer has something for us this morning.
The fact that we have Black folks who find themselves unable to support themselves because of the United States government and its ways, the fact that we have Black cultural centers, the fact that we have Black artisans, the fact that Black identity is under fire, and you haven't seen one Black billionaire say anything about an initiative or even a desire to create an initiative to support this, to challenge it, etc., should trouble you. You see, the thing about the whole billionaire thing is that when you are a billionaire, you have more money than you know what to do with. That's not like a figure of speech. It's an actual thing. You have enough money than some countries possess. Thus, you have the ability to create infrastructure that the government does not create. Now, for anyone who says, well, this country is not racist and it's Black people's problem. Okay. So then if it's our problem and we solve it, then what's the issue? So imagine if the Black Panthers, who literally were a volunteer-based organization, were able to create senior centers, even an extermination service, sickle cell clinics, free lunch programs, tutoring, etc. That was all done to fill gaps that the U.S. government had created and Black people were falling into. Now, instead of saying, good job, we didn't have to do it, y'all did it yourselves, they said, oh, no, we can't have Black people like excelling, and they shut it down. However, time is advanced and we have enough multimillionaires and Black billionaires to try again. And if we coalition build, we got enough billionaire and multimillionaire Asians, Indians, brown folks, etc., to be able to do this. So when we talk about the fact that the government isn't doing what it's supposed to, it's not. However, when we talk about capitalism and we talk about the necessity to get out from under it, we have enough multimillionaire and billionaires that can create a planned economy. We have enough folks that have actually benefited greatly from capitalism. And many folks say, why should they have to spend their money? Because they have it to spend. They're not even paying taxes the way they should be. So this is the least they could do. There have been several times where it has been tycoons of industry that have saved this nation from going under. How about this time, instead of saving the government, they save the people? And if you're not going to use the money to help the people, at least help the planet. Because it's your friends that are killing it. And we still own it.
Support a real one.
I don't take issue with anything she said now. For instance, for us, for the Black Press, today is that Giving Tuesday thing. There's a donate button at the top of the page, next to the home page. I have been very critical of particularly Black billionaires and Black multi-millionaires, because you should never, as Ben Crump said, you should lift as you climb. And I just find that there are some who do and too many who don't. And we see the evidence when you got, what's the young lady's name? Mackenzie Scott, just has given more money in like a few weeks than Black billionaires combined to HBCUs. But now I'm going to flip before you get into yours. I know, because I already know. But I'm going to say this. Just a subtle tweet by Uncle Luke Campbell made me realize something that is pretty obvious, but made me realize why these Black billionaires, many of them, not all of them, but many of them don't lift as they climb. It's because he said he was tweeting at Governor DeSantis in Florida, and the Governor DeSantis was tweeting back at him. The fact that Governor DeSantis was even tweeting back at him tells me a story too. But Luke was saying that we agree on some things, and there's a couple of things we disagree on. But this is one issue we agree on, blah blah blah. For a prominent black man from the hood to say that they agree with Governor, I could not say I agree with somebody who has consistently, like Donald Trump, Governor DeSantis has consistently tried to destroy anything black, anything that has to do with our history. There's no way I'm going to have a cordial, friendly conversation with Governor DeSantis and say, oh, yeah, we agree sometimes with this and that, Governor, blah, blah, blah. But why is that the case with Uncle Luke? Because Uncle Luke is in that, he's in the tax bracket in which he gets to hang out with people like Governor DeSantis. So they have a different view.
Well, coming out of that, just so you know, let it be known, family, today is Giving Tuesday. And Giving Tuesday started in 2012. And it was launched as a way to create a global day of giving and encourage generosity after, of course, the Black Friday sale and the Cyber Monday sale. So today is the day for you to contribute and give back to your community. Although Amanda Seales was talking about Black billionaires, there are tons of organizations across this country that are giving back to our communities. A lot of Black-led organizations that are giving back to our communities, especially right now in a time of need where inflation is high. And people are in need. And so shout out to all of those community organizations that are giving back, that are sowing seeds into our communities. And to pivot and push back a little bit about that, billionaires do give back. They just don't make it a public announcement. You have people like Mackenzie Scott. I'm pretty sure that she gives away more money that is made public. For every billion that she gives away publicly, there's probably 10 more billion that she gives away that we don't even know about. And so, yes, they could, Amanda Seales had some great points. But I don't want to take away the fact that, people do give back. A lot of times it's just not made public. And they underwrite a lot of things. But nevertheless, the point and intent was today is Give Back Tuesday. So if you can, think about a community organization in your state and nation and sow a seed.
So her point, Amanda Seales' point, was Black billionaires. And Shonda H is saying that she doesn't expect Black billionaires to be the rescue of the community. They can do whatever they want with their money. And when I wrote about it, I said the same thing. They certainly can. They certainly can. But at the same time, as Amanda Seales pointed out, and she's right, these dudes and women have more money than what they know what to do with it. And it's nothing. It should be lift as you climb. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And we love to say, and I know this is the case with some billionaires and celebrities, that they will give without the press releases. But that is very, very rare. Very rare.
How do you know that? How do you
know? I know that. I'm gonna tell you one reason. Okay, wait.
I'm asking, you've seen their taxes?
I'm gonna answer that question. And the answer to that question is, not only have I seen some taxes, I've seen some inside information. So years ago, to be very, very frank,
There wasn't that many years ago.
I worked for the National Enquirer. And what I got to see, these guys, they make deals, all of them, just about all of them, I would say, with the National Enquirer, Radar Online, and all of that. And their information comes in. They have to, because they get, they're like 1099, and I'm talking big time people. Michael Jackson, you name them. They have to do their 1099s. And they come in, they have to give the Enquirer their social security number, et cetera, because most of those stories that you read, that you used to read in the National, they're the ones who provided those stories, these celebrities.
Are they still around, the National Enquirer?
I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I got to see a lot of paperwork and a lot of stuff. And I got to see and hear firsthand from a lot of these folks. They could care less about the little man. They could care less. Many of them, not all of them, and they will tell you that they did this or that. And in this case, as Amanda Seals was talking about black billionaires, and I wrote an article not long ago about that. And you know, this young lady, Mackenzie Scott, doing all of this for HBCUs, and you got a Dr. Dre running around giving $100 million to a white institution.
Well, no,
Um,
wait, let's stop. See, that's what I'm saying because Dr. Dre is building a multi-million dollar complex and music center in the city of Compton where he was born and raised.
mhm.
And so I just don't think that we should be dictating how people allocate spend their
I'm not trying to
money
dictate. I'm
or
just saying that it just looks
but
it,
but you're
okay,
bringing up Dr. Dre and saying he's
right.
doing this, but not even acknowledging what he's doing for his community in Compton. So I just think we go down a slippery slope
So
when
the
we
bottom
start
line is
speaking for people's money.
who's that music complex gonna impact? Whose pockets? Whose pockets? The
The
most.
city of Compton and
You
the
don't think that
constituents
he's
that live there.
okay? You don't think that he's gonna benefit greatly from that?
So okay, so first it was they don't. And then when they do,
I
it's
don't
like
see what he's
who
doing. You're saying
benefits?
a music complex. I don't see that that's a
And
benefit.
it's an education facility. The whole city, the Compton High School, Dr. Dre is helping rebuild that school.
Mhm.
So I
Look who
mean,
built
but
the school in Africa and everybody got sexually assaulted.
so do you want them to do something or not?
I'm saying be intentional about it. Be very intentional about it. What I'm saying is that there are more who don't than those who do. And we tend to excuse these people because they have made it. And many of them have made it on your backs. And so you want to excuse it, you can go ahead and excuse it. Our
I'm not
problem is
excusing
excusing
it.
it.
I
No,
just
I'm not.
really don't care
Yeah, I'm
how
not
they
talking about
spend their
you
money. Yeah.
personally. I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about you. When I say you and we talking about, I'm
Mhm.
talking about black people. Black people in general. We tend to, because they are now a white celebrity we don't excuse, but we're quick to excuse a black celebrity or black billionaire when we see that they're going down that road in which they are only supporting by their actions, by how they spend their money. They're not supporting us. They're not supporting us. All this, we talking about these different companies that abandon DE&I and stuff. Where is the billionaire black man or black woman that's standing there with the boycotts? Where are they? So I just think that we give them too much credit. We're the ones that they built their fortunes off of. And
Mhm.
and many of them, like I said, like you could name some who do something.
Right.
I like what Jay-Z has done with Rock Nation, and what he's done with the prisons. I like what he's done there. I think that was very intentional. But
And they
you
cut checks and they cut checks for programs that we know nothing about. I mean, they
yeah,
do that too.
that's a myth.
Parkwood, Rock Nation, they fund a lot of children to go to school. I mean, I just think we go down a slippery slope when we start calling out people for what we think they do and don't do. I get the National Enquirer years ago, but like the Robert Smith, he's a billionaire. He contributes a lot. I mean, and so it's like I think today is more about what do we do as individuals. And a lot of times giving is not about financial. It's your time, it's your resources. And so I think, focusing on that and how, because if the community decided just to give back their time, their energy, and maybe some dollars, our communities would be better. And it wouldn't even be if the community decide to start our own garden to share tomatoes and all of that type of stuff. So I mean, I get billionaires should do more and there should be more responsibility. But if they don't, what are we gonna do?
Well, the thing about it is, I think people are doing what they can do, but in the moment where all of our institutions are under such attack, my question is, why are they missing in action?
Yeah, I don't have time to wait for a billionaire to do nothing.
Well, I'm not saying you should wait for them. I don't think the
I don't
community
have
is
time,
waiting
and
for
I don't
them.
think we have time to wait. I think, Amanda Seals calling them out, that's what her role is to do. I think you calling them out is very important. But at the same time, it takes a village. And the
It does.
village is not
Mhm,
compromised of millionaires. It's compromised of people. So
mhm.
what is the village going to do? Besides a billionaire doing something, like, what are we going to do? And what are they going to do? And I think Amanda Seals was right for calling them out. I think you're right for calling them out. But I also believe too, we have to be careful not to count people's money and how they spend it, because we really don't know how they do it.
Well, yeah, I again, they have every right to do whatever they want with their money. But at the same time, I think I have every right to criticize them for what
Yeah,
they're not
most
doing.
definitely.
And so, that's just where it's at. But you're right. It's given Tuesday, as they say, and so folks do
And
what
you
they're
have,
gonna do
and
what
I
they.
think you and Amanda Seals have challenged the billionaires, rightfully so. Challenge them to do better. They can do better, but at the same time, we can too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. Yeah, I think you summed it up nicely. It's a challenge to do better, to do better. Right. There you go.
Right.
I like that. All right. So the FBI is in chaos, Niele, as you probably know. But it really hit the fan yesterday when this 115-page internal report that was provided to Congress was made public and revealed that the first 6 months under Cash Patel have shaken the Bureau. Agents report a culture of fear, collapse in morale, and open hostility toward Donald Trump. Cash Patel and Dan Bongino are viewed
Mhm,
as unprepared, with
mhm.
employees saying they learn more from their social media posts than from official channels. The
Ooh.
president's pardons of January 6 offenders has deepened the distrust in the FBI, and agents are reportedly, based on the report anyway, furious about being reassigned from national security work to ICE operations. They also complain about DE&I programs being dismantled, and that has created some big divisions within the bureau. And so they're saying it's unstable. And some in that report, if you read the report, and you can see it on BlackPressUSA.com, the report is laced with a lot of foul language. They're calling Patel and others, including Trump, all types of names beginning with the F word and stuff like that. These people are really upset in the FBI.
Mm. Yeah, the morale is down, um, all across the board, and those are the people that are most subject to be cut, right? And word on the street is Cash Patel is high on the chopping block to be cut from his position. So it's just interesting to see how everything is beginning to fall down for Trump. But he holds his power somehow, some way. And it's a scary thing to see how he is handling the Department of Justice, the Justice Department, and I find it interesting how he's placing women in these positions, especially the Department of Justice, and how he treats them. How he treats women different than he does men in high positions. And you see that a lot with Pam Bondi. But I think Cash Patel is on his way out. He can't even look at us straight.
Okay. um, he tries, probably, may I don't
He
know. Does he
does.
try?
But it just always goes that way.
You just threw me off with that one, because it's hard looking at him in the first place.
Right.
Um, but the guy is, but he is representative of the entire administration, just about. Incompetence personified, DEI hires personified, all throughout that administration. They are so incompetent. Many of, what's the Department of War guy, Heskett, whatever, Pete, whatever.
Hexeth. Pete
Hes-
Hexeth.
he
Hexeth.
yeah, sat
That one.
before Congress and couldn't he could barely answer the question of what's his title. The
Right.
guy is so they all are so incompetent that the only thing that they do well is what got them the job and what's keeping them the job. And then we know what that one thing that they do well is? Yes, Trump. Yes, yes, Trump. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, boss. That's it.
That's it. That's all they do. That's all they do. Dr. Marilyn made a point. She says, I think we are hurting as a culture and looking for someone to blame because we don't have the answers. We need help. I think asking instead of pointing fingers will go further. And like, I think two things, somebody else said two things could be right at the same time. I think, Stacy, you challenging and Amanda Seals bringing up those points are critical to the situation. But I also think at the same time, we have a part to play in it as well. So I wholeheartedly agree with what Dr. Marilyn said. It works both ways.
Bobby Henry is watching. He says, okay, you rich people, rich black people, prove Stacy wrong. You got a chance to do it now. Look, there are all I'm saying is there are black institutions, knowing that they are under attack too, knowing that this administration wants to do away with anything that tells you anything about black history, which is American history. They want to do away with it. Whether it's the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture, whether it's the Black Press, folks have a chance to take a stand, and folks with the means to do so, where we not just for the Black Press, but for institutions that represent this our community so well, there's a chance to say, you know what, let's do this ourselves, so we don't have to depend on them anymore, because they've shown themselves to be people we can't depend on. We thought, well, I didn't think, but the majority of folks thought that the turning point was George Floyd. Oh, Black Lives Matter all over the world. And they thought, and I was told by some in certain positions, oh, things have changed now. We're not going back
But
to
that
the
was
way
a
it
turning
used to be.
point. That was a turning point. You can't take that away. What happened was significant, but then you had rich white men watching what was happening and rolled it
Right,
all back. But you can't
right.
take away, and those are pivotal moments that we have to continually remind ourselves to get back to, right? Because
Mhm.
we did make steps forward. We did see a push. We did see legislation and policy made. Although it didn't
Mhm.
pass, it doesn't mean that it's gone. And when you think about the book, I would encourage I just got a copy of Jim Clyburn's new book. And he told us the story when we were in DC about sometimes it only takes one vote. It only takes one pivotal vote. It was one vote for the Civil Rights Act. It was one vote for the Civil War. So sometimes, it may take a long time, like it took a minute to get voting rights. We got civil rights, but then it took a minute to get voting rights. So we can't dismiss pivotal moments just because white men try to take it away from us, because that cannot be discredited or discounted.
Right. And so there's no question it was a pivotal moment. But my point to Niele is that y- don't go back to allowing them. And I'm talking about now, I'm not talking about the political part of it. I'm talking about the corporate part. Corporate America made all these promises, made all these pledges, and
Right.
then let's not, I'm saying our institutions like the Black Press, our institutions like the Smithsonian African American Museum, the African American, forget the Smithsonian, but the African American Museum in Memphis, where King's hotel room has been preserved. African American Museum down south in Charlotte. I'm saying Black Press, Black folks who have the wherewithal, preserve these things so that we don't need to have to consider corporate America anymore, white corporate America anymore. Preserve them. because they're so important. They should be important enough, because most of these billionaires that we're talking about, and certainly a great majority of celebrities, the first bit of ink they ever got was the black press. So preserve them. Make it a mission, so you don't have to turn to Amazon, or you don't have to turn to Nestle, or whoever you might turn to, GM or whoever.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. But you're right. It was a pivotal moment that will never be forgotten. You can't forget that. That was the most in our lifetime, in my lifetime. Because King and those marches was not in my lifetime. Right. I was born the year King was killed. So I didn't see any of that. But what I did see in 2020 across the globe, that was significant. That was impressive.
Yeah, and the
So,
funding poured out, and Donald Trump stopped all that.
right.
He just stopped it all. So we have to get back to that, and it starts with the midterms and flipping this situation around. To get back to now, we were on equity. We was like, okay, we have enough equality, and that's not really doing what we needed to do. So let's start getting to the equity. The minute we started getting to the equity, they was like, oh no, they doing way too much. Um, and so we have to get back to that. And I mean, we can't, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? We can't lose focus. We can't lose hope. We just have to continue to find the funding. We always do. We always do. And it might not come from a billionaire. It might just come from us, doing the work, people seeing it and investing in the work that's necessary to be done. And I think it's going to happen. I see different people watching the show because people are hungry. If a child is hungry and you feed it, they'll keep coming back. If you start putting food on your porch, the cat or the dog is gonna come every day because they know they're gonna get that food. If we continue to put out what now Donald Trump's world is missing, they're gonna come. And guess what? Economics and the economy and capitalism, they're gonna invest on where the people are. So,
Mhm.
there's hope. There's hope. They'll come.
Keep
They'll
hope
come.
alive.
Keep hope alive. David
Oh,
Childs made a good point though, real quick. I want to bring up to what you were saying, what we were talking about. He says, I genuinely think Donald Trump sees all women as less intelligent, and he is a hardcore misogynist, sees women as objects. Totally agree with that. Totally 100% agree with that.
and RNG says, well, he does a podcast journalism, and he call out black millionaires all the time for their lack of interviews with the black press. Marshall
It's
Falk, the new
important.
head coach of Southern, has never given an interview. And these things are true too. And to me, the ultimate test, again, I'll speak for myself. I've interviewed a lot of superstars, a lot of millionaires, but the overwhelming majority happened when I was working for the white press. And even now, when I sometimes freelance for the New York Times, I call up. If I say, hey, I'm doing a piece for the New York Times, I get a immediate response almost
Mm-hmm.
calling for a black press. Oh, such and such is not available. It's too much of that.
No, I mean,
And
I told,
it's a
yeah, I
large
mean, I
sample
know.
size of that.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's another problem that we have with certain folks. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
with
mean,
you,
I think
RNG.
it definitely depends about with the outlet. The outlet does matter, but there are some like, I used to work for Kathy Hughes, Radio One. People plot,
Mhm.
you pick up the phone, they show up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You call for a different outlet, it doesn't happen. So, I mean, it just depends. But for the most part, it just also depends on how you finesse it too.
That that
But
part
to your
too.
point, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
to your point, yeah. Hmm.
Folks, so they're coming down to the nitty gritty on the Affordable Care Act subsidies that help more than 20 million Americans afford health insurance. It's going to expire at the end of this month, those subsidies. And so when you get your bill for January 1st, it's going to be astronomical unless Congress does extend the subsidies, and many of when we talked a little bit about this yesterday, Niele, about the Republicans. A lot of the Republicans are getting a little scared about because the midterms are getting closer and closer, and they're getting a little scared, and some of them want to do a deal. And there's a faction, folks, who actually have floated extending the subsidies by 2 years when really uh, uh, the Democrats was only asking for 1 year with the assumption or the hope that they would win next year and that they could keep it forever, I guess. But still, Donald Trump, even a few days ago, now he flip flops, but he says, I guess we're going to have subsidies. But they have not yet come up with a plan, but the clock is ticking fast.
Yeah, Republicans never have a plan. Their plan is just to say no to what Democrats' plan, right? And then they'll co-opt the Democrats' plan and make it and put their title on it. And it's sometimes it's the same thing that the Democrats presented, and they just put their name on it. But to your point, a lot of Republicans, the issue is they have to go back to their districts. They have to show up to those town halls. They have to go to their congressional offices in their districts, and their constituents are not happy. Okay. So if they want to keep their seat, some of those Republicans are going to have to bend. Okay. I'm not saying bend over, but they're going to have to bend.
There she go. Nonetheless, well, they do it for Trump.
They bend over for Trump. Okay. They bend over. Okay.
Oh my. Woo,
but they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to, because if they want to keep their seats. Yesterday we talked about how many Republicans and Democrats are jumping ship. Now, for those who want to stay and play, some of them are going to have to, listen to their constituents. And if they want to keep their votes, they're going to have to keep them happy. That means they're going to have to, maintain their Social Security. They're going to have to retain their Medicaid and Medi-Cal. They're going to have to maintain their Affordable Care Act, affectionately known as Obamacare. They're going to have to do it.
Orangey is saying something that Representative Chris Murphy said. I quoted Murphy in my article about this. Orangey is saying that if the extensions happen, the headline should read, Obama wins again. He says Trump will blow his lid. But Representative Chris Murphy said that these Republicans, there are some Republicans who know that the right thing to do is the subsidies, is to keep the cost as low as possible. But their hatred for Obama won't allow them to do what's right. Obama's been out of office for how long, Niele? A decade.
Yeah, he really has. And him and Michelle look great and light as a feather.
Right. And yet they spend every waking moment
trying to undo everything he did. Trying to do everything that he's done. They just want to undo it. I mean, I've never seen white hate before. Like back during the 60s and the 50s and beyond, right, you saw it. Obama brings back that white hate that we forgot about.
Yeah.
They remind us, that reminds us of, the difference between the black man and the white man and why they fear the black man.
The man, I will say this about Barack Obama and the Affordable Care Act. He had to have and that's his signature piece of legislation. So he had to have really slept on it, put in every ounce that he had in this, because they have for the last 10 plus years been trying to destroy this healthcare law, and they have not. They've weakened it for sure, but they have not successfully defeated it. They have not because the wording, the language, and everything else that he put in there has proven so hard to overcome. They really almost to this point impossible to overcome to the point where now we're talking about the Republicans saying that in order to save their seats, they're going to have to vote to keep the subsidies in Obamacare.
Right. Patricia Jackson says white rage, hate runs deep. It's not just Republicans, sadly. That is true. That is true.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly, it is true. And speaking of Republicans, at least 11 of them in Indiana have confirmed that they received bomb threats after saying that they would not support Donald Trump's redistricting plan. In a lengthy social media tirade, Trump blasted Indiana State Senate Republicans for not supporting the effort, naming 2 state senators and Governor Mike Braun. Indiana House lawmakers began taking up redistricting yesterday by formally introducing the new map. The state Senate is expected to do the same next week. But in the meantime, Mike Boacek is his name, the Republican there, the state senator, opposes the redistricting. He said one of the things that's happened to him, he's gotten bomb threats, but one of the clinching moments for him to say, I'm not supporting this, is when Trump used the R word to describe Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
What's the R word?
We're not supposed to say it. It's retarded.
Oh,
and
he is so ignorant. He is ignorant.
Boacek's son has Down syndrome, so it really hit hard. And Trump has mocked people with Down syndrome. So yeah,
I can't believe he used the R word. Nobody around his team told him that the word is spectrum. Now they're on the spec.
Listen, no, Neil,
I don't
he
believe
said it publicly. He was, the press was there. He called the man the R word.
You said he called the man the R word. Oh, Donald. Do better, Donald.
That man has no decorum. Look, it's not even an insult to say he has no decorum.
Dr. Marilyn said that's an 80s word. I was like, what is the R word? I mean, we got,
But you see, but look, do you see what Patricia Jackson said? This is a great point on a lot of ways. She says until he felt it personally, he probably would have gone along with this redistricting, right? But that's the thing. We talk about the gun violence and all that. Until they feel it personally, it's not going to change.
Right. But I just want to go back to, the number one terrorist threat to the United States is the white man. Okay. Now the white man is threatening the white man. Okay. Now the white man is threatening the white man. And the number one terrorist threat, the FBI said it, okay, is the white man. Now the white man is terrorizing the white man.
Terrorized.
Let that
at least 11 Indiana lawmakers have reported receiving bomb threats because they oppose the redistricting. And they are all on the same team. They're all Republicans.
They all Republicans, and they terrorizing each other.
They're terrorizing each other.
Ooh. All right, Trixie said, Miss Trixie said, so we can call people that again. No, do not do what Donald does.
You started that.
No, we're not. We're not doing that. We're not. No, we're not going to be like Donald. Okay.
Dr. Child said he shares your shock about the arm.
Donald. I can start calling him Donald. I'm not even. His name is Donald. Ronald McDonald.
No, Donald. You got to call him Donald to reprimand him, right? Or what do they call him, Donnie?
Donald. Cut it out, Donald.
Oh God! All right, folks. A little entertainment news. 43 years ago, Thriller hit the world like a lightning bolt. Its anniversary still behaves like a global holiday when it arrived on November 30th, 1982, and landed with a shock. 7 singles hit the Hot 100 charts. Beat It and Billie Jean reached #1, and more than 100 million albums sold across continents. It rebuilt the rules of pop music from the ground up. The strangest part is how alive it still sounds. This fall, for instance, Forbes magazine reported that Billie Jean reached a new global chart peak. It hit number 40 on Billboard Global exclusive US and number 49 on the Billboard Global 200. The track has now lived more than 100 weeks on those charts, 4 decades after it came out. It's still teaching modern records how to behave. And of course, Thriller every October, because of the Halloween holiday, Thriller jumps up exponentially. This year, it went up to number 10 on the sales chart. So listen, Thriller has never aged. It has simply kept traveling.
What's your favorite song on Thriller?
Why did I think you were going to ask me that question? You know, perhaps Human Nature.
Oh, I think mine is PYT. Isn't PYT on?
Yeah,
Thriller?
it's on there.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Because I was a Janet Jackson fan at that time, and I used to like, oh, there's Janet and Latoya singing background for Michael Jackson.
That that's the thing, that an artist can create such a record that it just stands the test of all times. I mean, we've decades and decades away from Thriller, and here we are. Was 49 years? Unbelievable.
AI could never. This is what I'm saying about, all of this conversation about how AI is taking over the music industry. I think it will have impact, but there are some artists that you just can't create in AI. And Michael Jackson is like that type of artist. Prince is that type of artist. Beyonce is that type of artist. And so they could never recreate an AI Michael Jackson. I mean, they could in like, okay, we could see him in our timeline, but I'm just talking about the artistry, the total package. You can't duplicate that.
Yeah, there's there are songs that you hear, and it's not just Michael, but there are songs that you hear that, and it's not many, that you say, wow, it was great in 1975, great in 1985, great in 2025.
Yeah, like a Teddy Pendergrass song. Like
exactly.
the lyrics. You can't. I understand now why women were throwing their panties at Teddy Pendergrass. I was cleaning up over the break, and I had a rotate, and I was listening to the lyrics. I was like, Teddy.
Oh my.
Come on,
Teddy
and
said,
go
"You got
with me."
you got what I need." Teddy said, and
Okay,
that's what he said.
the lyrics, they could never. I saw Ray J was talking to Keith Sweat, and Keith Sweat told him that you and all these little young R&B singers, y'all need to stop cussing and find a way to talk to women. There's Teddy. I mean, the lyrics, the way he sung, they could never. Maybe Usher is on that Teddy, vibe. But I can't think of like another artist that could come close today to the way Teddy was macking to women. I can't think of one.
Stephanie Mills
Today.
told us. Stephanie Mills tells the story. She told us the story. She says, when she sang with Teddy, she said, I was looking at him like he was my big brother. She said, my gosh, did I mess that up?
Oh, but one of my favorite songs is by him and Stephanie Mills, Two Hearts. I love that song, Two Hearts. But yeah.
Trixie says, "Want to be starting something" is her song.
Oh yeah, because he's not saying "Mama say, Mama sa, Mumaku sa."
Here we go.
What is he saying? What does he say? It took me. I was well past like 2 years ago when I really found out what he was saying, and I still can't remember. But it ain't "Mama say, Mama sa, Mumaku sa."
I'm gonna say it one more time.
That's what he says.
Something like that, yeah.
No, where did we get
I won't
Mama
stop,
say,
or
Mama
something like
sa, Makusa?
Well, apparently there's a story behind that. Apparently, that it was some sort of African thing at first, but it was something that they wasn't supposed to use, and so they told him he couldn't use it, and so he just substituted it with something like, I'm gonna say it, and I won't stop, or something like that.
I'm gonna say it, and I won't stop. I'm gonna say it, and I won't stop. Okay. Michael Jackson forever. whatever. And we also having a Black History fact. I didn't even see, but we have a Black History fact about MJ. So today is MJ Day, okay? It's Giving Tuesday and MJ Day. We just gonna say it. All right, a
Yeah.
couple more headlines to get through. Let's talk reparations, Stacy's. So Santa Monica, California is paying up to $350,000 to the family of Silas White, who was a Black entrepreneur whose land was taken by the city of Santa Monica in the 1950s. Now, Silas White planned to open the Ebony Beach Club, a space for Black beachgoers who were excluded from local venues at the time. So the city seized the land, as they do, through eminent domain, stopping the project altogether. Now, this is part of what Santa Monica is calling a broader reparations effort. Now, I don't know if 300K is enough. We don't know if the family has accepted it, but it's a start. It's a start.
There was another California family that we talked about.
Bruce's Beach.
The
It was
Bruce,
Bruce's Beach.
right? That's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
And that
Mhm.
was up. That was up past Long Beach. Where?
No, Bruce's
no?
Beach is Manhattan Beach.
It was Manhattan Beach. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it was
All
Manhattan
right.
Beach. And that was thanks to C. Bradford. We've had him on the show. He's a former state senator, and he was pretty much on the reparations task force here in California. But he was significant into getting the Bruce's family that money, as well as our second district supervisor, Holly J. Mitchell. And the interesting thing about that, when I asked Steve, was that a form of reparation, Bruce's Beach? He said, absolutely not. He said it wasn't a form of reparations. He was like, they took that land from them. Reparations is something that you give somebody for an injustice that was, done to you, but that land was taken from them. So he was like, that's not a form of reparations. So I guess he would say this too.
Yeah, we had the lawyer, Black woman, on that represented that family too, some time ago.
So yeah,
I'm just saying. That's a point.
I thought you.
Okay,
so yeah, no, I thought you were about to say something else. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if the family takes the 350,000. If I think they should get in the millions. Give them what, add up
a lot of things. Yep.
Yeah, add up the money that he could have made.
That's it
from that.
Yep.
And it's well beyond $350,000.
Exactly. I mean, the property there too in Santa Monica itself. Oh my gosh, Santa Monica is expensive. Well, all of Southern California just about is so expensive. But Santa Monica
that coastline,
forget about
is,
it.
Yeah. So yeah, do better, Santa Monica. Okay?
A whole lot better. They
better.
should have, at the very least, put a 1 in front of that 350.
Yeah. Right. No, put a 5 in front of it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so for the first time since 1988, the U.S. government did not commemorate World AIDS Day yesterday. Now, this is what the State Department told the employees. They told the employees and grant recipients not to use U.S. government funds to mark the event and not to promote the day publicly. So, yesterday, typically, we would see it all down our timeline.
Exactly.
We would see the red ribbon. It was kind of silent. It took Black media. It took Black media to talk about Black women in AIDS, in the continent of Africa. It took Black media to talk about World AIDS Day because the Trump Klan administration said, if you do it, you're going to lose your job or you're going to lose your funding.
This administration is equal opportunity haters. I mean, what in the world? Why would it hurt to observe World AIDS Day? It's a day in which you observe that in a way that it's awareness. It's awareness, and people still get HIV and AIDS. It's not like the illness has gone away. It's not like it's just crazy. Oh gosh.
Well, Trixie, that might have been, you have World AIDS Day, you have Black AIDS Day. It's a lot of AIDS Day.
Yeah, but it's always
Yeah.
December 1st.
But the
Yeah,
World AIDS Day, the one for like globally, is December 1st. And so
yeah.
not only did we not celebrate it, but we decided that we're not going to be a part of a world movement.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have our states days that
It's
deal with
not. It's
AIDS.
not like it's a holiday and it's right
Right.
celebrated. Oh, this is about awareness. This is about health. This is about keeping people informed. It's just it's not a holiday. Cancel a holiday.
Right.
Which which holiday he's looking at, right?
Well, no, Trixie said, she said it, Juneteenth is next.
Well, that too, and
Oh, you talking about
King.
King Day? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Patricia says they're just dumb.
Um, and we touched on AI a little earlier, but the White House, reports are saying that the White House has drafted an order directing the Justice Department to sue states that pass AI regulations. Now, the draft was obtained by several news sources, directing Attorney Pam Bondi to create an AI litigation task force.
Hmm.
And so, remember, all of the tech people were standing behind Donald Trump during the inauguration. And one of the first things he did when he went into office was did this big partnership with OpenAI. And so he's just going to let AI run amok. Robots, the deep fake state of the internet, all of it. He just like, do whatever. I don't care. No regulations for you. Now, radio is regulated. Television is regulated. The stock market is regulated. You have all of these different agencies of regulations because you can't just let people go rogue. But technology, they just have an open book to do whatever they want to do. They could suppress Black media. Part of the problem is why Black media doesn't, filter in social media is because they suppress the things we talk about. Now, if we want to talk about 50 Cent and Diddy, they'll let that go all day long. But for us to talk about the things that we talk about here on Let It Be Known, they'll suppress it. They won't let you put dollars towards it to promote it. They won't even let us promote the show, y'all. They say that when we put money behind clips from this show, they say, oh, you guys are being too political. Or, oh, you can't promote this, but you could promote anything that Donald Trump does. Now, if we would say we're not promoting World AIDS Day because of Donald Trump, they probably let us promote it.
David Youngblood says cruelty is the point. That's what we've been saying. Oh man.
Yeah. So beware of AI. Let's jump into some HBCU headlines. Now, St. Augustine University is the first HBCU to publicly support the Trump admin's Compact for Academic Excellence program. We talked about this a couple months ago about how he wanted to, if certain universities wanted to continue their federal funding, they had to, in Stacy's terms, capitulate to what this man wanted, which is no DEI, no protests, and government evaluations to make sure that they're following Trump's standard. Now we know USC and Brown said no, but this is the first HBCU that is open to sign off on it.
Well, it's where we at. They only want you to promote negative BS on our people. Trixie says, "Yeah, this is where they at."
Right. And interesting, I thought FAMU would have been the first HBCU to do it because remember, the governor put his pick and there was a big, faux pas over there of what was happening. And the students didn't want her. The alumni didn't want her because it was a DeSantis pick. But she seems to be quiet and just, she hasn't really done anything too problematic yet. But I thought she would be the first person to participate in this program.
Yeah, they also, as Greer's pointing out, it was just last year, they was facing closure. They have some serious financial issues over there.
Oh, at FAMU. Mm-hmm.
No, St. Augustine.
Oh, St. Augustine.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, St. Augustine. RG says ABC wants the mess on black people. He says, I hope people boycott the 50 Cent documentary. 50 Cent's going, yeah, somebody posted on one of the social sites today. It's like this guy, and it got a lot of traction too. So this guy is going to one day be in a position where he's going to regret some of this stuff, at least some of it, if not all of it. I mean, he is the most. This guy is extremely petty.
Well, he's
And I was petty.
problematic. But I think it's gonna hurt his television programming because if you look at what's happened over at Stars, like 50 Cent had like the biggest gig going with Stars. He had like 5 shows. People
Mhm.
were, we don't even watch Forces on right now with Tommy, and it's horrible. He lets his personal ego get too involved, and that's something that like you can learn from executives. They don't get involved in
Emotionally.
debates with their talent. Your
Yeah.
talent is your talent. You can't get into a debate online with your lead ghost, or Amari Hardwick. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or BMF. You can't get into it with Big Meech, and just mess up a whole franchise. And so I'm interested to see when he does come back with these series, how many people watch, because he becomes bigger than the show. And you should never be bigger than your show or your talent. You let your talent ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, it's I find it, initially, when Diddy got locked up first, when he first got locked up and 50 Cent was having his little fun. Okay, it was funny for the first, 5 or 10 times, and now it's just ridiculous. I'm gonna answer David Youngblood's question. Yeah, Mackenzie Scott did donate to St. Augustine earlier
Mm.
this year. She gave well, she gave a $5 million endowment for St. Augustine. So, but that's all I'm seeing, which is surprising because her gifts have been uh, man 50, 60 million, 80 million
Yeah.
to other schools. So anyway, but
Well,
give
in more HBCU headlines, the ESP Band of the Year National Championship has been set, and Southern University's Human Jukebox will face off against Florida A&M's Marching 100 in Atlanta during the Celebration Bowl this month. And in more celebration news, our very own Don Montgomery will also be there moderating a book talk with Jeezy and Dr. Wes Bellamy called, now this is one of Dr. Wes Bellamy's favorite saying. He's been saying this for at least 10 years. Nobody is coming to save us. Now, this book talk is happening on December 11th during the Celebration Bowl. And so it sounds like they're having a mini bayou down in Atlanta. So you can go check out the book talk, Battle of the Bands, or the big game. I'm not sure who's playing in the big game. Maybe Orange G can drop that in the chat.
Yeah, and Greer says she'll be there.
Oh, nice. Nice. And finally, since we're talking about sports and celebrations, the teams are playing, everybody's rocking with Shedeur Sanders. I mean, he's living up. He is the NFL right now. If you say NFL, you say Shedeur Sanders. But when we talk about the Super Bowl, Coco Jones, who stars in Bel Air, which is now back on Peacock, and she's an R&B singer that's on tour with the Boys Mind Tour with Brandy and Monica. She's been chosen to perform Lift Every Voice and Sing at next year's Super Bowl.
Yeah, I found that to be extremely interesting that the NFL is going to go through with this. Is still going through with it. Good for them. Good for them. I
Oh,
have a
with
lot of criticism.
the Black
The Black
Anthem.
Man, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of criticism of them, and I think rightfully they deserve all the criticism they get. But it's amazing that they are allowing this because their commissioner and a lot of those owners are in bed with Trump.
Yeah, I mean, so we're gonna have Lift Every Voice and Sing in the beginning of the show, and then we're gonna have an all Spanish halftime show. Now that's what you call making America great again. Oh, we're
Oh
talking about the
gosh.
Celebration Bowl, Orangey. Who's playing in the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta? This coming up weekend. Is it this? No, next weekend. It's next weekend. Or this weekend. It's
You
the
said the
11th.
11th.
Yeah.
Tickets are on sale now. That's all I know.
Right. I didn't see who was playing.
He'll let us. Orangey will let us know. He will let us know.
I'm
What else
still
you got?
mad. I'm still
Oh,
mad, David Childs, too, at the NFL about Colin Kaepernick, too. Hmm.
well, we talked about that recently too, right? It's like I said, the NFL is very problematic. That's why I just find it very interesting that they are actually going to go through with this and have Lift Every Voice, and even the halftime show. That they signed that over to Jay-Z some time ago, so he's selecting the halftime performance. He has been and continues to do so. RNG says the MEAC champs, South Carolina. Um, I don't know who else is in it though.
Mm.
So we'll find out. We'll
That's
find
right.
out.
That's right. Now let's head into these black facts.
Let's do it. On this date, folks, in 1884, Granville T. Woods, remember that name? He's a black man, patented and improved telephone transmitter, which combined the telephone and telegraph and was called the telegraphone. He would later sell the rights to this invention to none other than Alexander Graham Bell. So it was a black man behind the telephone, folks.
Stoplight, telephone, iron, blow dryer. We did it all.
Yep.
Now, is that DEI or is that just,
Right.
I don't know. Okay. But we talked about Michael Jackson earlier, and interesting fact, on this day, MTV first aired
Isn't that
the
something?
14-minute music video for Michael Jackson's Thriller on December 2nd, 1983. Now, this premiere was a landmark event that significantly boosted the music video's popularity and had a major impact on the music industry, establishing music videos as a serious art form.
Wow. And every music video, he called them short films. He didn't call them videos, but everyone after that, including Thriller, was a primetime special event. Remember all of his videos? We
Smooth
call them videos.
Criminal,
Yeah, they were all.
Bad, Beat It.
Yeah, they were primetime events. Networks with and mostly CBS because at the time he was Epic and CBS were the same company, and Sony, of course. But CBS would air his videos would be a special prime time, 9 o'clock at night.
I remember that. I don't think my mother let me watch Thriller when it first came out. I mean, that's just how major it was. It was like, it's too much. Can you imagine today somebody saying Thriller is too much? You can't watch it.
David Youngblood said, thanks for saying. I think it's David Bowie, David, that really got the wheels turning for MTV. He told them off to their faces about not playing black artists. How could you not? He said, play a Michael Jackson or other black artists, especially Michael at that time. I mean, nobody was doing what Michael was doing. Because even before the Thriller album, there was, if you remember, there were a couple of videos for Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You from his Off the Wall album. And they were, they wasn't Thriller level, but they were still a little bit different because music videos was really before Michael started before he did Thriller and then Beat It and Billie Jean videos. They were just something. Basically, they were just pictures to go with the music. They wasn't too outstanding.
Yeah, Off the Wall was my favorite Michael Jackson album. I
Mm.
like Thriller, but my favorite Michael Jackson album is Off the Wall.
Yeah, it
I
may
love
have been his. I know a lot of his family members, including his mom, always said that Off the Wall was their favorite.
Yeah, it's my
So
favorite. And that song Off the Wall alone is perfect to play on a Friday after you had a long week, or you about to go somewhere. I just want to live off the wall, okay? and I
is that how
love
you want to?
and I love Falling in Love with Diana Ross. Oh my god, I love
Mm,
that song. But
okay.
yeah, that's my favorite.
Well, what's you guys' favorite? Let us know. Off the Wall. That was a great album. It really was. It really was. It set the tone. It really set the tone for Thriller because the story behind that, he was so disappointed. Michael was that he didn't win the Grammy Awards for Off the Wall. That he decided that his next album would be unstoppable, that they couldn't ignore it. In fact, legend has it that he wrote using his sister's red lipstick on the mirror that his next album will sell 20 million copies.
Mm.
And of course, Thriller has gone on to sell in excess of 100 million copies. So he was not to be denied.
As we say, Michael Jackson forever.
Oh, gosh. So,
No, look, I'll show you. Look, I have his
oh, here we go.
obituary. Look, this is his obituary.
Oh
I got to
gosh,
go to
yeah, I
the
remember
funeral.
that program book.
Yes, it was such a that day in LA at the Staples Center. It was just, the only funeral that ever came close to that is Nipsey Hussle's. But
Mm.
that Michael Jackson funeral was just like it honored him in the way that he gave it to us. It was beautiful. Love him
You know,
forever.
so he had two funerals. The one at the Staples Center, and then the one in September, where they finally interred his body into what's that? The famous cemetery. And they were out there in the heat. It was like 100 something degrees, and Liz
Mhm.
Taylor was like melting. It was just horrible. But when it came to somebody like him, you can only expect that it would have been so. I don't want to use the term over the top because it sounds negative, but I'm gonna use it so that you'll know that it's not intended to be negative. But it was so over the top. So the pomp and circumstance was just unreal for a funeral. But it was Michael
I don't
Jackson.
think it was. Yeah, it's Michael Jackson. It's not just me or you. It's Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it was so touching to see his brothers carry that casket. They all were wearing one glove, the white glove.
Love
It
it.
was it was just so really it was just it kind of tugged at you a bit. I was actually Shepard Smith. You know the name Shepard Smith? He used to anchor Fox News. I was actually sitting at the anchor desk with him for
Hmm.
Fox News, doing the funeral, covering the funeral for Fox News. And
Nice.
yeah, and then when I saw Jackie and Jermaine and Marlon and Tito and Randy come out with the casket and the white glove, it was just like wow. That's when it really began to kind of sink in that wow. So Michael Jackson is dead.
No, yeah, it was here being in LA. I actually broke the news on radio. We were at the radio station at 93.5. It was K Day or the Beat. And TMZ actually broke the story that he had died. And at that time, it was like TMZ can't break stories like that. They're not a
Mhm.
credible news source. Where's ABC? Where's NBC? TMZ was at the house. They were
Mhm.
there with and so our PD was like, break it, go live
Yeah.
on radio, and we're just gonna roll with it. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. But TMZ got it right, and that whole just process of that day, and Stevie Wonder's radio station KGLH. I mean, they just took over. Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder because the relationship, the Motown connection. It was just that day was surreal.
Yeah.
There's some
It
moments in
really
my
was.
life, it was such a surreal day. And you didn't want to believe it, but
I
radio
I
got
I I didn't believe it because I thought because I got a call, and one of his siblings called me and
Mhm.
asked me, "Is it true, Stacy?" His sibling called me and asked me that, and my response was, "Well, you know how your brother is. He don't want to do these concerts. He's faking this heart problem or whatever it is." That was my response. I won't say which sibling because I don't want to cause any issues
Mhm.
with the fans, not with the individual, but one of his siblings, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't think so." And then like I hung up with that person, and the phone just was blowing up. I mean, news stations and outlets and other people were calling me, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I remember walking into the house, and you mentioned ABC, and ABC was reporting that he was in a coma. And I was like, this is weird. And as you said, it finally broke. TMZ was like, he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, TMZ was at the house when it happened, when
Hmm.
the paramedics was there. Like they were giving you real-time account as to what was happening. That day news was well behind. They were well behind
Yeah,
the story. And TMZ was bold enough. And I think that was the pivotal moment that people went, TMZ became a certified news source
yeah.
because they broke that story. It was their story. They broke it from beginning to end. Dr. Mellon, though, shifting gears, said, "What about Aretha Franklin? Didn't she have a casket dress change?" And she did. She did. And that was the longest funeral. Okay. When the saints say we tarry with Mother Franklin. Okay. That was
Broke.
the longest funeral
Isn't, isn't
ever.
that the isn't that the funeral they groped Ariana Grande?
That's what you remember. No, who did it? Who did the groping?
Those two preachers up there, and I remember Jesse sitting up there and staring at Ariana Grande. I was like, wait, isn't she like 12 years old?
That was the longest celebrity funeral in history. Nobody's topped that. Michael's funeral wasn't that long.
Aretha had the longest funeral in history,
She had the longest funeral in celebrity
and she
history.
had the most black will, the most black person will you'll ever have. She wrote whatever she wanted on a piece of paper and stuffed it in the couch,
Okay, and kept all her money in her purse.
like Orangey under the mattress.
Dr. David Child says all black funerals are long, Neo. Yes, but Aretha Franklin's funeral went past 4 hours. Okay, that
Mm-mm. Wow, that's a lot. Oh
yeah,
well,
it was a lot. But you get
yeah.
you some good singing, and some good praying and some good testimonies about the life she lived. All I know is that they better have some good food at that repast, okay? Making me wait that long.
She said Aretha was a diva. Trixie said she was
A damn diva. That's what she said. A damn diva. Who did she want to play? Oh, she wanted Jennifer Hudson to play her. They asked
Oh,
her.
is that right? That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
she wanted Jennifer Hudson. They asked her a couple other people, and she turned her nose up at them.
Mhm. I think that was good. That's a good choice, right?
Oh, Jennifer Hudson, most definitely. I
Yeah.
nailed it. Her or Fantasia, Jennifer
Yeah.
Hudson or Fantasia. But I think feature wise, I think they both vocally could have done it, but feature wise, I think Jennifer Hudson was more compatible.
Okay. Okay, we got a fun fact video. Let's check it out.
Oh, that's Minnie
Wow.
Rippleton.
Legend Floyd mini. Oh,
Yeah, I saw that. And yeah, she just said, let's do it again.
oh my. Does
See,
she have a
now
death
all
wish?
that could be AI generated. Okay. Don't put no tiger next to me. Just put the AI generation next to me and we're good to go. Okay.
Wait, right. Right, but that
But you
was
know who would?
obviously.
I could see your boy Michael Jackson doing that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He
He
loves
had
animals.
he had lions at Neverland, and as well as so many other animals. And I just remember my experience with his lion, like he wanting saying pet the lion, he telling me to pet. I'm not petting no lion. I'm not. When they brought the lion out, the
Hmm.
one time I was there, and he got a kick out of it because I was gone. He had these golf carts that you could ride around the ranch. Now I jumped in the golf course and went the other way so fast when they had the lion. The trainer had the lion out on a basically a leash.
Hmm.
But I'm like, when you bring the who out, they bring the I was gone. I'm out.
Right. I have, yeah, no desire. I see now these people, they take these exotic trips and they take pictures with the lion on their shoulders. And
Mm.
then the trainer goes and he puts the bottle in the big lion's mouth, and then he pulls it out and they take the picture, and then and then they stick it back in. And the person that's taking the picture, they're praying and doing that, but as soon that they're frightened to death. Why?
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 Why? Shoot.
Why?
Listen, and just so people will know, that just to be clear, the mini Riverton video that Greer showed, that's a real lion.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was real.
that
That wasn't AI generated.
Dr. Marilyn said lions don't deserve to be caged. They are not pets. Let them be in the wilderness. Yeah, look. Ooh, that's one animal, one of a few I would not be playing around with.
And then on the last note, Dr. Marilyn says, "I love Aretha. Her story always makes me cry. She was 12 years old having a child, and I'm not gonna say it because I'm a journalist, but we know word on the street who the alleged daddy was. Now that blew my mind,
Ooh.
and I'm gonna just leave that blew my mind. I could.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
Mm,
But it's never been proven, so we're not gonna say it. But word
right.
on the street,
Mm, wow. And look, she got that look.
and on
She
that
wanna.
note, for the latest in headlines and news, visit BlackPressUSA.com.
It's a very good segue. Yes, please check us out. Again, there's that little donate button on the
Dr. Miller said, spill the tea. I have to
spill the
tell you on
tea.
a side chat because it's all alleged, and I don't want the ghost of Aretha Franklin coming to haunt me.
Oh Lord.
Because she would be like, child, you are on Black Press USA. You know better.
You know
But
better.
word on the street is it's not hard to dig. Just Google who is Aretha Franklin's alleged first child's baby daddy.
Goodness grief. That's just a mouthful right there. First child's baby daddy. Anyway, folks, check out BlackPressUSA.com and check us out again tomorrow. Oh my God.
All right, that's it. For the latest
That's
in Black news, visit BlackPressUSA.com.